Okay, so I think we're going. Let's give it a go and see where we are at. I know many of you are super busy, and I love when you will pop on and ask me questions. And I know people just we don't have a lot of free time. We don't have a lot of energy for sure. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we have is how do we get connected? And what does that even mean? I mean, if I was going to explain to somebody what I do, what I mean by connection, why I crave it, it's because going through a lot during the pandemic and wherever we are in life, and then you add being a female entrepreneur, then you add being a woman going through midlife, and it just makes for a lot of complicated situations. And so, how we show up for ourselves, how we think about ourselves, and the changes that are happening, whether or not you personally choose to color your hair, whether or not you choose to wear makeup or change your hairstyle. There are things that we don't get to choose in midlife, and sometimes those things are precisely the things that can knock us down. So I had this vision to create this safe space, to hold this space for women to come together and to be able to be nurtured. And it's not just by me, so you don't have to just love everything about me, but it's to have this space where you get to show up as you and you get to join me and ask questions, but you also get to meet these other amazing entrepreneurs that are inside the community. Sometimes they're movement specialists, trainers. Some of them have ideas to create their own network as well. And if you are reaching out and trying to serve a community, if you run swim camps, for instance, one of our members does, if you like to help women live their best lives through healthy eating and cooking, there are so many options for you. One of our members happens to be a very talented artist that is super fun, and we are going to start creating some retreats together. And we might even try some online summits and see what does that look like and where are your skills and strengths and how does that blend in. When you I think what often stops me is the fear, is the worry of like, what if I don't know as much as these people? What if I don't have the same to give? And so I use this analogy, and in case you haven't watched it before or seen it before, imagine that we are a kernel of popcorn, and you're a kernel of popcorn, and I'm a kernel, and everybody in the community is a kernel. And we're each posting on social media, we are each creating reels, and we are each creating content, and we are serving our women who are in midlife the best. And what happens sometimes is that we can feel a little bit worn out. And then when we put it all together and we get into the base of the hot air popper, if you have one of those, what happens when the heat comes on? And that's what community is, and that's where the action starts happening. And then when together we start taking that heat and that action, and there's a transformation. And what happens through that is we go from just being our kernel in our space to lots of kernels together. The community interactions, we're only going to meet twice a month. This is not something you've got to do every day. This is not something you have to do every week even, because that's too much. And even if you only come once a month to the professional development where we are going to be collaborating and co-creating together, what's your dream in your heart of, wow, Hillary, I would like to learn how to podcast, or I would like to learn how to be a guest, or I would like to get over my fear of being on camera. I've already lined up one of the professionals who is a video specialist, and she helps us get over our fears of being on camera. I have someone else who helps us create and cultivate connection, and it's not as stressful. And I'll tell you what kind of personality I am. I spoke to an entrepreneur yesterday, and she said, hey, I'm interested in some networking things, but I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like going to a group that says, hey, here's what I do, buy from me. Here's what I do, you need to do this for me. This is not that kind of group at all. So I need to make sure that I set the stage. So, depending on where you're coming in, you are going to have some either passion or expertise in a certain area. You are going to have some skills and strengths in a certain area. And you're also going to have some challenges or areas that are far more difficult for you. So, what if you meet this other person that I know? And I love to connect people. That's what lights me up, is connecting you with other people so that you can get to where you want to go even faster and further. So imagine that you start out and you're a curious seed. And then you're starting to bud, you're starting to grow some things in practice. You're a little out of your comfort zone, but we're inside the community cheering you on. And then you're starting to really create some things and you're growing. And maybe you're like a tall green stalk that hasn't yet bloomed, but you're getting there. Your roots are deepening and your stalk is growing. And you're starting to create things with more confidence. And then you bloom, your first flower, your first sunflower. And you are starting to really realize, wait a minute, I could collaborate with this person. I don't have to compete with them. We could work together. And then in the final kind of stage where you're out there, you have really not only mastered that new area, but you have also developed and grown in a field of other blooming women. So imagine a vast field of sunflowers. And this is the time of year, this is perfect because this time of year is when the sunflowers are in bloom. So I will answer any questions, and I have a couple pulled up here that people had sent me, so I can certainly answer those. So who is this membership for? And who's it for now and who is it for later? So I'll answer that one first. So thank you for that great question. So right now, I want to invite female entrepreneurs, healthcare providers like me. I'm an occupational therapist. Some people are trainers, some people are dietitians, nutritionists, health coaches, all kinds of things. And then the creatives, the people who love to inspire through art and writing and creativity. And if you have a heart to serve midlife women. So your community is geared towards that because and it's nothing against people of other generations, but who better to understand all the symptoms, all the challenges of midlife than other midlife women? And together, this is the exciting adventure or quest we're going to go on. We're going to expand the outreach of each of our businesses as we support each other and encourage you. Have you ever felt kind of down? Have you ever thought, oh, I've got to get a headshot made and I don't know what poses and it doesn't feel comfortable? Well, I walked in on an entrepreneur yesterday. I just happened to meet her and the light captured her perfectly. And I said, I'm an amateur photographer. Could I just take a picture of you to show you how beautiful you are? And immediately she just kind of brushed it off. Isn't that exactly what we do? Is we brush things off. And I said, no, let me get out my camera and try. And so to help her relax, this was one of my strategies. I said, all right, just look away from the camera. And on 3, 2, 1. And she was relaxed and I took the picture. Well, I promised her I would not share it on social media, so I cannot share that with you. But she said, wow, look how relaxed I am. Look how good I feel. And she had no idea of all, not just the beauty from the outside, but these strengths that she was carrying on the inside. So that's the now in the membership. So if you have an idea and you have a profession and you're like, yeah, I want to work with other people who are motivated. They want to hold each other accountable. They want to move forward. They want to connect with other women who know the challenges and the struggles. Technology, hello, for sure. So, second question. What are the main challenges or problems that we as women entrepreneurs, health professionals, and creatives are really facing? Here's what my perspective is. It is truly, we feel disconnected from people. I mean, we're on screens. A lot of times we're working on our own. A lot of times we're the only person in our business. And we would really like to connect and maybe help help each other get out of our mindset and change from feeling insecure about it, pushing through those fears, and how our relationships are changing. Whether it's with a spouse or a partner or with a child, there are some serious relationship changes. Some of it's our own identity, right? I mean, what do we Let me think about that a second. What do we put our value in? How do we value ourselves? Is our identity in being a spouse, in being a parent, in being a partner? Is it in the identity of your work? And when the work you're doing no longer serves you and you think, can I even do something different? Am I too old? What is going to happen? So, those I think are some of the main challenges. Let's see. So, now I really want to bring in the women who are serving those other midlife women so that we can take our kernels, as I said, and blow it into the air popper of community to expand our reach. And later on, the community will open up to midlife women who want to come in and want to know, okay, Hillary, you've already vetted all of these people. So if I need help with tech, here's who do I go to? If I want help with social media, who do I go to? If I want to learn how to build a membership, where do I do that? I'm inside my Mighty Network, and that means that you could come in and see, how does a Mighty Network work? And you don't even have to build it. For some people, I could see they want to run a group, but they don't want to build an entire Mighty Network, and they want to be kind of off other social media platforms. So how would they do that? Well, they could come in and kind of lease a grouping space. You get to have your own community, your own area, and your people get to be with you in that space, and you don't have to do all the work. How could I make your life easier? That's just what I think about. All right, let's see. Next question. 4. Where did this idea come from? Why are you so passionate about helping midlife women? You know, when I went through my health journey and kind of midlife crisis and was going through some relationship challenges and some personal health challenges, physical health, mental health, emotional health, I just developed this heart. I don't want any one of you out there, even if you are a female entrepreneur, I don't want you going through this alone. Because this time of life, we need support. And we need people that know what we're going through. We need people to say, hey, do you need to go to a surgical gynecologist for a consultation, not just your family practitioner? Do you need to know about where to go to develop a strategy for your business? Do you need to figure out, hey, I want to host a retreat and learn to be a speaker, but I'm not sure where to go? That's what we are going to do and create together. So I hope that answers the question about the passion and sometimes fear. And I feel like, ooh, I better hold back. This is going to stop me. But then I have to change my mindset and think, wait a minute, what if this big feeling is that it's so important and there are so many of you waiting to come alongside us and join us for this journey? That's a different set of beliefs, right? How we think about ourselves, what emotions get in the way. And instead of the community, it's not about me. Yeah, I have to come on here to let you know about me, otherwise you won't find me. But what if that the whole point is that I want to serve you? Have you met somebody that said, how can I meet your needs? How can I best support you? And in this community, I can tell you, the women I've already spoken to that are coming in, they are ready to kind of come together. And I'm going to be your biggest fan and your biggest cheerleader and your biggest connector to say, hey, let's do this together, because we can. All right, let's see. Next question. Are there any comments? No, I don't think I see any comments. So next question. My foundational values. Well, I'm a really honest person, and I think that's really important to let you know that I really stand behind what I say I'm going to do. I take great responsibility, and if I am committing to be here for you, and whether you stay 1 month, 6 months, a year, or forever, it's your choice. You are not locked into a membership. You can cancel anytime at the end of your 30 days. You will just pop out, no problem. Hope I helped you and served you in some way. I will put some of the comments from some of our members from the last cohort, and I'll put those on the webpage as well. Let's see. So my basic values. I need to keep things simple. I want to provide you quality information, but not overwhelm you. So it goes back to simplicity, quality, integrity, and just truly caring with a passion. So I think those are really some of the foundational values. What do women get right now? Sixth question. What do women get now by joining the membership? Let's see. I have a whole list of that, and let's see if I can just read it out a little bit. So, the first thing is once a month, we are going to get together for that professional collaboration, getting to know each other with strategic questions. So, you're going to get something every single month that is going to help you further promote your business. You are going to grow it in some way. Just last night, I had a 25% increase in my Instagram followers. 25% because I've been working through these stages and steps. All right, so another time of the month, it's going to be a little bit more fun on how do we build a community? How do we trust those relationships and those people? And it's not going to be a let me talk about myself and convince you why you need me. It's going to be, we're going to do some activities so that we can stand shoulder to shoulder to really get to know each other. And I think that'll be really fun because you're going to meet some peers, and there's an age range in midlife, right? We do not all have the same experiences, knowledge, background, and we don't all have the same challenges, which means we can kind of fill in each other's holes if we were all Swiss cheese to make us a nice, smooth piece of maybe Edam. Let's see. We're going to be building a resource library for you, and eventually we are going to have some different areas. If you are a creative person, you're going to be on one petal of the blooming flower or blooming woman. That is our symbol. She is a woman that's blooming, kind of like our money tree. That's money from all over the world. And my husband and I put that together. Thank you, Terry. And those are our smushed pennies and then coins literally from around the globe. So we try to keep that kind of fun. Well, I think that's probably enough talking. And if anybody has questions that I've not answered, let's see. Oh, there is another one. Thank you. What is the bigger mission for the group? Well, what I realized through this time in midlife that relationships are changing, ending, and some women are contemplating suicide and taking their lives. So the greatest, biggest mission is we want to save relationships and lives for women in midlife. We want your businesses to succeed and thrive for sure. But if we are not taking care of ourselves, then we are not going to get the main message out there, or we're just going to be suffering in silence and wondering, am I the only one that feels this way? So let's see. The transformation. Did I answer this question? Let me go back in case I didn't. The question is, can you describe the journey or transformation the women will experience inside the Midlife Network? So it's going to be going from, let's see, where did I put that? I forgot one of my main values, generosity. So if you are a member inside Community Bloom, you are going to get more than you can imagine. And not just from me, but from other members. They're going to say, hey, I already made this PDF. Do you want to take a look? Hey, here's how I solved this problem. If it helps you, great. So I hope that will help as well. So imagine you are a little seed in a dark space and you're not sure where to go. And someone comes along beside you and they sprinkle a little water, they give you a little bit of fertilizer, and these are your fellow community members. So then you're starting to bud and you're feeling like, hey, I could try this, I could create this a little bit differently. And then you're starting to grow. You haven't yet bloomed, but you're growing, you're learning, you're getting more confident. And then you have your own first flower, right? You are your own bloom. You're working so much in your strengths in this new area because, again, there are going to be things that are easy for you and things that are not so easy. And then finally, you are going to be able to, if you choose, to mentor, teach, deliver a speech at a summit. You're going to host a retreat. You're going to do something, and you're going to have people inside the community who want to help you get there. So I think that was our last question on here. So I appreciate your questions. Those were really, really good. And I appreciate it so much. So I will be back on here again at 4 o'clock today. It will not be a super long chat, but thanks for watching. I don't even know who it is there. So let's see. Is it going to tell me? Maybe not. So Hillary Baggett, Community Bloom, Hill Talks Podcast, Women's Midlife Network. Have a great one.